another video on this candied melon skin. So I've done candied melon skin a few times. It's quite a weird thing if you think about it, but it works out really well. And then you can put it in fruitcakes, all that kind of stuff. But I was thinking, I think there's a better way of doing it again. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to macerate the melon skin in some sugar first before I cook it. Because what I found is lots of moisture wants to come out of the melon skin. It's got a little bit of flesh still on it. And that kind of slows down the candying process. I'm just cooking something at the back of the stove, so I'm just faffing around with two things at once. So lots of liquid wants to come out of the melon skin. So I thought what we'll do is we'll draw out some of that moisture, and that will be the moisture that we'll start off the syrup with. So instead of making a syrup which will be 2 parts sugar to 1 part water, the water element will come from the actual melon skin, which is what's watering down the syrup as we kind of go. So it takes longer for the syrup to kind of get going. So I'm going to macerate it. There's about 400 grams worth of melon skin there. So let's cover it. Let's shake it up. So I'm going to get an idea of how much to put on. So put on about, let's put 200 grams worth of sugar on to start off with. I'm just weighing off camera because my scales, the board's not flat and we need the scales to be flat. So 400 grams worth of melon skin, and then 200 grams worth of sugar, and then if we shake it all about, then the sugar will coat the melon and it will start drawing out that excess moisture, rather than just when you macerate something, you know, just completely cover it in sugar and, like, you know, and leave it in a cool place, e.g. the fridge for a week. But if we shake it all around like that, oh, that's a good idea, isn't it? So the sugar wants to fall to the bottom. So if we shake it upside down, sugar is more at the top, isn't it? So we'll cover it. I mean, to do candied fruit anyway, we use a lot of sugar anyway, so if we put on equal quantities of sugar to melon skin, so it's about 400 grams worth of sugar on the melon skin, and then lid on. Well, you know, I'm trying to use more glass actually, but I just haven't got all my glass jars. I've got other things in them at the moment. So we'll put that in the fridge, and what will happen is the liquid will start to leach out, and then when we've kind of got a decent amount of liquid come out of the melon, then we'll start to cook it, and then kind of see how that kind of works doing melon skin. Yeah, so I am going to add some ginger, but I couldn't be bothered chopping it tonight. So the ginger will just be added when we do the what am I calling it, starting the cooking. No, but I just couldn't be peeling it. I'm just fed up of working and faffing around with stuff. So so I'll add the ginger later, and then I think, oh yeah, and also, so this is going to be a 2-for-1 video. The syrup that comes out of it is nice and sweet, syrupy, and got a bit of a floral kind of flavour to it. And I've seen a lot of people make fake honeys. So I was kind of thinking, well, we could turn it into the syrup that's left after we've candied the fruit. Let's turn it into a honey, and let's have a faff around with that syrup. So it's honeydew melons are already kind of quite floral and perfumed anyway. So we're going to get that kind of flavour in the syrup anyway. So maybe I won't put any ginger in. Maybe I won't put any ginger in. No, maybe I won't. And what we'll do is it's elderflower season as well, and there's some roses flowering out and about. So I'll go out for a walk and we'll pick some elderflower, and then we'll fuse the syrup with some elderflower and maybe some rose petals to see if we can get like a floral kind of fake honey. Because most people tend to just boil up sugar and put some whatchamacallits in and some flowers in, and I kind of think the syrup from the honeydew melon will be nicer. So anyway, yeah, that's what we're going to do. So we'll be back in a few days, but it won't be a few days for you. It'll be instantaneous. It's like, so when I'll go end of that, and then we'll go straight into another video now. well, I'll make the camera wobble first. So, this has only been in the fridge about 24 hours. I'll get rid of those first because they're for another project. So it's only been in the fridge for 24 hours and all that liquid has come out of it. So I think when we start boiling it, it'll plump up. But how's that liquid taste? That tastes deliciously melony. Right. Right, are we going to add more sugar in? No. No. That looks like it's a thick syrup already. So, straight in there. That pan's too big. That pan's too big. Not to worry. We'll always adjust as we go along. So, scrape all that sugar out. I can always put it in bigger. I've always put it in a smaller pan, can't I? Yes. I think that pan's too big. We're going to probably lose too much liquid in evaporation. But that might be a good thing. So, that will go like that. And then, bring it up to the boil. I can use that. Bring it up to the boil. Simmer it for 5 minutes. And we'll see what happens. Don't need to see that process, do you? No. Conscious to make that video's a little bit shorter. I tend to waffle lots. So, that looks alright. I don't think any more liquid's going to come out of that melon. No, I don't think so. So, we'll see how it goes. Bring it up to the boil, simmer it for 5 minutes, and then we'll see what it looks like after that. Right, so it has simmered for 5 minutes, and we look like that's a better way of doing it. To extract the liquid out of the melon, and then use that liquid to start off the what we call it, instead of adding more liquid to it. So that's had 5 minutes, so we can turn that off, and then it will require another boiling up tomorrow for another 5 minutes, and then the day after for another 5 minutes, and the day after for another 5 minutes. But it looks alright, does that? I think that'll be we'll get a better result. I think. We'll see. Anyway. So, I'll carry on boiling it up. We won't, unless something drastic kind of happens, you won't need to see any more until we're at the finished result. Right, so 5 days later, and this hasn't worked really. Well, it's kind of worked, but the melon skin's gone really tough. It's kind of difficult to kind of bite through, which is not what I wanted. The underside of it, it's the actual skin from the outside that's toughened up. So this method of doing candied melon skin didn't work. I wonder if that has happened with orange peel, but it's just a little bit too tough. It's not wanting to that, so it's kind of quite difficult to kind of cut into. The underside's okay, but the outside is not. So a little bit of a disappointment, but it doesn't work. However, let's taste the juice, the syrup, and see what that tastes like. That's quite delicious. That's quite delicious. So I have picked some flowers to use in this. We have picked some. I'm not going to use that one. I have picked some elderflowers, and I've picked some. These are. That's a bug. I picked some. I picked some blackberry flowers as well. So what we'll do is we will heat that up, strain out the melon, and then it's probably a little bit too. No, maybe by the time we boil it up, by the time we boil it up, it might have just thickened up a little bit, and then we'll drop the flowers in it. We'll just knock off any bugs, anything like that, and then we'll leave it to infuse while it's still hot with the lid on, and then we'll see how it turns out. Yes, that's what we'll do. Right, so it's... Are we recording? Yes, we are recording. So it's strained and it's hot. Now I want it to be hot because there's going to be natural yeast on these blossoms. So flowers, blossoms. Don't know whether... Is it a blossom or is it a flower? No, these flowers, aren't they? The blossom becomes... The blossom come first. I don't know. I really should Google that. So there will be some natural yeast on those, and if we don't kill that yeast, there's be a tendency for it to start wanting to ferment, which is sometimes what we want, but not this time. And also, by heating it, we're going to have it's going to draw out the bouquets from these flowers a bit quicker. So I'm just going to get rid of that bug. We'll take them outside. I was thinking, yeah. So by the time this video comes out, the other flowers will have gone. But I was kind of thinking that I did make my own elderflower cordial. So if you were doing this in the wintertime and there was no flowers about, you didn't want to buy any from the florist, you could use some elderflower cordial. I'm sure. And there's also, have we got it to hand? There's also, I was thinking, yeah. So we can buy things like, which will probably be another video for another day. Orange blossom water. So that's floral. And then we've got rose water, which, sorry, cable's getting linked. So we could all use these to put in there to make like a fake honey. How's this taste? Not bad. But that's so, if we can't get the flowers, we can use the essence of the flowers. That was my thought anyway. So, and I did mean to actually make some a cordial using rose water. So we can do two things at once, can't we, in another video. So, I don't know how much to put in, so I'm going to be generous. We're going to put in that much, and if there's any, hopefully I've knocked the bugs off. So, and hopefully it's still hot enough now to kind of kill any yeast in there, and then we'll put the lid on, and then we'll let that infuse, and we'll kind of see what happens. But I'm curious, and it's also reminding me to do another video, and potentially another video about the same subjects again. So yeah, we're doing well. It's cooled. It will have infused. Let's give it a taste. What does it smell like? It smells good. It smells good. Do you know that's not bad? That's not bad. As a honey substitute, that's pretty good. As a honey substitute, that is pretty good. I mean, you know the difference. I mean, it doesn't taste like honey, but it's got that floral element to it, and it's sweet, and it's got a consistency, and there's more to it than it's not just a sugar syrup with a little bit of flavour in it. Because of that melon skin, it's got like more of a depth of flavour. So that works. The melon skin macerating beforehand didn't work, so I reckon if I was to do that again in the future, what I would do is I would go back to the previous method, where I added, instead of a 1-to-1 ratio of syrup cooking the melon in, what I do is I do a 3-to-1 ratio of syrup, which is slightly more than the previous recipe that I did for it. So I do 3 parts sugar to 1 part water, and then that would compensate for the excess water that came out of the melon, and we'd still cook the melon skin rather, and I think the macerating drew out too much moisture from the actual skin of the melon, not the that layer of flesh just on the inside, but I think it drew out too much moisture from the skin and toughened it up. But that's really good, is that? That's really good. For a honey substitute, that's impressive. There we go. So, honey substitute, that worked. So that's a success. The candied melon skin, yeah, not so much of a success. But we learned something, and that's what's really important.